Bernie Ecclestone has launched into a ferocious rant over his comments on Lewis Hamilton and racism within sport and society. What's up guys, Formula News here, and first up on today's episode, Bernie vs Hamilton. Ecclestone was called out by Hamilton after saying he believes black people can be more racist than white people and has now doubled down on his comments. The former CEO also compared being black to being short, dismissing anti-police brutality protesters as not knowing what they're doing and suggesting black people aren't discriminated against when they are turned down for jobs. Ecclestone hit the headlines for all the wrong reasons in the week after saying black people are often more racist than others. The former Formula One CEO also claimed he had been too busy to deal with racial injustice during his time at the organization. His comments were condemned by the sport, and Hamilton branded his words as ignorant and uneducated. But now, the 89-year-old has doubled down on his controversial remarks and launched into a bizarre rant on the subject. Ecclestone insisted he wasn't a racist before appearing to indicate that racism isn't an issue in society. He then went on to attempt to discredit protesters against police brutality and claimed it is certainly fashionable to talk about diversity. Ecclestone then bizarrely compared the difficulties of being black to being short and claimed black people need to learn how to deal with it the same way that he did. There have been calls for Formula One to ban Ecclestone from events once the sport resumes, but the 89-year-old laughed off those suggestions. Next up, Vettel believes the gap will be smaller in the second weekend. Back-to-back Formula One races in Austria means the margins between teams will be even smaller than usual the second weekend, says Ferrari's Sebastian Vettel. Four times world champion Vettel and teammate Charles Leclerc hit the track in Ferrari's 2018 car, the SF71H, earlier this week in a test at Mugello as the Scuderia stepped up their preparations for the 2020 campaign. The season will kick off with the Austrian Grand Prix at the Red Bull Ring on July 5th, followed a week later by a second race on the same track as part of an 8-race European leg. The 8 races on the initial calendar will be held without fans present and in controlled conditions due to the novel coronavirus outbreak, which has killed over 493,000 people globally. Vettel, who has already confirmed his departure from Ferrari at the end of the season, says racing in front of empty stands will be an unusual experience for all the drivers. Next up, a time for change at Williams. With 1 week to go before the 2020 Formula One season restarts, the Williams team has seen, despite what essentially has been a lockdown period for the teams, a massive amount of activity taking place, ranging from the announcement of a sale process being commenced due to the announcement of the loss of the team's main sponsor, and with the arrival of new staff, and just recently the unveiling of the new 2020 color scheme for the FW43. A time for change at the Williams team has started. After 2 years that had seen the team finish last in the championship, the team, amongst the whole of Formula One, would have to cope with the abandonment of the 2020 season as a result of the coronavirus. This would see the team go into a period of lockdown where staff would be furloughed. There would be so much uncertainty as to when the season would restart, but add to their own issues, the Williams team would make public their 2019 financial reports showing a significant loss for Williams Grand Prix engineering. It was at this time that the team would announce their plans to commence a search for further investment, even if that process meant a possible sale of the team and potentially the disappearance of the Williams name. But despite the continued uncertainty, there has been positive news coming from the team with the announcement of Simon Roberts in the role of managing director, bringing a wealth of experience to the Williams team. Also, there was more certainty in terms of future financial expenditures, with new F1 regulations including the announcement of budget caps. Even the team's move to commence the sale process was one of aiming to move away from having to struggle to be competitive on a very limited budget. Hopefully, it will allow the team to look beyond paying drivers to supplement the team's budget. Combined with this were announcements which reveal that the team has the funding well into 2021. Lastly, Alfa Romeo gets a new sponsor. The Alfa Romeo racing team has announced that it will be joining forces with Acer, a global leader in high-performance computing. The partnership will begin at the start of the delayed 2020 F1 season. The Hinwil-based Alfa Romeo team has announced that it will have a high-tech boost ahead of the season-opening Austrian Grand Prix as Acer joins the Swiss-Italian outfit. As part of the agreement, Acer will provide Alfa Romeo with workstations and monitor that will be used both in the Hinwil headquarters and on the racetracks. Moreover, the IT company and the F1 team will work together to create engaging and compelling content for the growing audiences following both companies. Alfa Romeo team principal stressed that his team and Acer share values in many aspects. And that's been today's video. If you don't want to miss out on any Formula 1 news, then please hit that like and subscribe button for more top-notch F1 reports and insights. Apart from that, I hope you enjoyed the video, hope you have an awesome day, until next time, goodbye.